Hello, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to be decorating lots of pockets and tags so that they're all ready to use in my journals. I've got a selection of paper envelopes, craft envelopes, a pocket from my printables and one of the pockets I made after following Joey DeFee's tutorial. I've also got some classic-y tags, some craft luggage tags, and again some tags that are from my printables available over on Patreon. The first thing that I'm going to do is use some white acrylic gesso from De La Rowney. And I'm going to use this on top of some of the craft luggage tags, and I'm also going to use them on the back of the printable tags to help firm them up a little bit. And gesso is great, it's a primer. You could use white acrylic paint instead, but gesso's nice and thick and it's going to give you some lovely brush strokes and act as a really good base for anything else that you want to put on top. I'm also adding some gesso to one of the craft envelopes, and once this is finished I'm going to put them all to one side to dry, and I'll come back later to show you how I decorate them. I absolutely love doing a big tag and pocket decorating exercise in one go, and I leave them all in a lovely pile so that anytime I get my journals out they're all ready to go and I can just pick which ones fit in with the colours I've used on my page. The next thing I'm doing is using a classic-y tag from London Gifties, and I'm going to tear up some old book paper to stick on top of the tag. To glue this down, I'm using Pritt Stick. I'm really hoping this video will inspire you to dig out some of your tags and envelopes and decorate along with me. If you don't have any pre-made luggage tags, you can often find templates online, or you could just cut them out of some card and you'll still be able to decorate them and have lots of fun. Also, old envelopes that have been sent to you in the post can make great pockets for your journal. On this tag, I've now used a transparent floral sticker and I've placed that on top. For my next tag, I'm using one of the craft luggage tags, and I'm using some washi tape from London Gifties, and I'm just going to lay these across in a diagonal direction. This is really simple but creates such a pretty tag. And because I'd want to be able to write on the back of the tag, I would then normally glue some paper on the back so that I've still got that writing space. I really enjoy using tags and pockets in my journals. I think they're a great place to add a little bit of extra writing space or to stick photos on the back of the tags. And sometimes I just tip the tags into my journal pages using washi tape, and other times I like to slip them inside the pockets. And the pockets are also a great place to put in any tickets or perhaps letters that you've received in the post and know that they're safely tucked away in your journal. I'm now looking through these beautiful girl stickers and picking the one that I think ties in nicely with that washi tape. Most of the ephemera that I'm using comes from London Gifties, and I will of course leave Christine's shop linked down below. If you do decide to place an order from London Gifties, if you use the code HELEN when you check out, then you'll get a free roll of washi tape included. and I will also leave links to any of the other products I use in the description box down below. Decorating tags is a great way of using up some of your stash, so definitely have a look through patterned papers, stickers, washi tape, anything that you've got. They can make really beautiful decorations. Decorated tags also make a great addition in Happy Mail. If you've got other journaling friends, it's a lovely idea to decorate some tags, pop them in the post so that they can use them in their own journals. And also, of course, they're great for adding on top of presents. I'm now using this thick washi tape with floral designs, and it's on a transparent background, so it looks really nice when it's layered on top of those old book pages and tag. I find the washi tape is so versatile, so that you can use it just as whole strips or cut out some of those individual elements and use them as a kind of mini collage to decorate your tags. And if they're on transparent backgrounds like these, they work even better because that background just disappears. For my next tag, I'm going to use this image that I printed out on my Pooley printer, and I'm going to cut around it to stick on the front. So any printed images and photos or even magazine cutouts, again, can be really great decorations. And I'm looking at that pile that's already starting to build up, and I know that I'm going to have so much fun adding them to my journal pages. I'm now tearing off a strip of washi tape, and I'm going to place that down one side of the tag and then stick the printed image on top. The next thing I'm going to do is use this pink Distress Oxide ink and rub that all along the edge of the tag to give it a really bright and bold border. If you wanted to give your tags a more distressed feel, then using a brown ink for that would work really well. I love having all these different decorated tags with lots of different colours, because I know when I sit down to journal, if I bring all these over to me, I should definitely be able to find one that fits in with the colours and feel of my journal page. To decorate this glassine bag, which I will use as a pocket, I've had a look through this decorated paper pad. And again, that's another great place to look, as if you've got shopping lists or any notepads with decorations on, you can stick them on the front of your pockets. To finish this pocket off, I'm going to add some strips of washi tape on top. And I'm going to leave that white space because I think that would be really nice to add either a quote on or make a few notes about anything that I decide to tuck inside the pocket. So again, it's a really quick and easy way to add some decoration. The next thing I'm going to do is use this lovely little teapot stamp from London Gifties, and I'm going to use two different coloured ink pads on top. This is a really nice way to change up the look of your stamps, is by using a couple of different colours on top, and I will then pick some washi tape rolls which match in with those colours. I think that looks so pretty with those two different inks together. I can't even tell you how much fun I had filming all of this and just sitting there and decorating and just forgetting about everything else for a while. It was a really relaxing way to spend some time. So I do hope that you'll take a little time to look through your stash and get decorating with no pressure at all and just have some fun with it. The next thing I'm going to do is decorate this pocket, which comes from my Patreon printables, and it's already got quite a lot of decoration on it because it's from a mixed media piece that I did, but I thought it would be nice to add some other elements too. For the decoration, I've added a strip of washi tape. I'm also going to use a torn up piece of book paper and then add some transfer stickers on top. This YouTube video ended up being a lot longer than I'd intended, but as I said, I completely lost track of time and just kept on decorating. But I hope with it being a bit longer, it gives you time to sit down and do some papercraft or creating or journaling alongside me. These transfer stickers are perfect to use for decorating tags because again, they've got that transparent background, so they really look like they're part of the original piece. These transfer stickers again are from London Gifties, and I use them on lots of my journaling spreads and also add them to envelopes that I'm sending as happy mail. To add the transfer, you use a wooden stick to gently rub over the top, and then you peel the backing off. And these stickers transfer really well, and I used to love doing this when I was a kid. I always had transfer stickers and I still love doing it now. For my next tag, I'm going to do some heat embossing, which I haven't done for a while and I always forget how much I love it. So I'm using a craft luggage tag and I've then got an embossing pad. And I'm going to pick this lovely moon and stars stamp for the embossing. So you just press it down on the embossing pad the same as you would with a normal ink pad, and make sure that it's well covered before stamping onto your page or tag. You need to make sure that you press down quite firmly and it leaves a kind of a sticky stamped image. I'm then using some gold coloured embossing powder and I'm pouring this all over where the stamped image will be. And you can use as much as you like because you won't be wasting any of it. You then tip your tag up and then make sure that you flick off any of the excess powder. And you can then tip that powder back into the pot. I heated the image with a heat tool and that's made all of the embossing powder go really shiny. I'm then adding a quote on top using a Tombow fudenosuki brush pen with a firm nib. And I've added the little quote, "Keep shining," and added an extra star. I'm so happy with this. I love embossing powder and how you get that really lovely, shiny, shimmery effect on top. I'm now going to decorate this pocket that I made after following along with a tutorial on Joey DeFee's channel. And I made this pocket using some old map paper. So I'm going to decorate it with some old book pages, and I'm also then going to add some postage stamps. And I thought that kind of tied in nicely, thinking of maps and travel and using postage stamps from different places around the world. I love keeping old postage stamps exactly for little projects like this. I'm picking postage stamps that are red, and I thought that would add a really nice contrast to the pale blues, whites and greens on the page. And I'm using some Pritt stick to glue those down. And on top of that, I'm going to add some black stamping. I'm using black StazOn ink, which definitely can seep through journal pages, but I know will be absolutely fine on top of all of those layers. And I'm adding the stamping on top of the pocket and overlaying the stamps too. Now that the gesso has dried on all of the tags and pockets, I'm going to start decorating these. And I'm going to start off with the 2 tags from my printables. And I literally just use the gesso on the back of these to firm them up a bit. And for the decoration, I'm going to add some black stamping to both tags. And I thought that would add a really nice, strong contrast. For the second tag, the stamp that I want to use is bigger than the tag itself, so I'm placing it on top of a piece of old scrap paper so that when I stamp I can just make sure the image goes on the place on the tag that I want, and the rest of it will just transfer onto the scrap paper. I'm now going to start decorating the craft luggage tags that I added gesso to, and I'm going to be using watercolour paint over the top. And I find that this gives a really interesting effect because you'll get those brush strokes from the thick gesso coming through the watercolour, and it just looks so beautiful, I think, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So I'm going to play around really with some different coloured paints and add lots of water, let them run into each other and give a really beautiful coloured background. And once the watercolour paint has dried, I'll be adding some extra decoration on top. These watercolour paints come from London Gifties, but any kinds of watercolour paints would work absolutely fine for this. And as you can see, you get that almost blotchy, marbled effect on them, and I think that works really well. For this tag, I've used yellow watercolour paint for the background, and I'm then going to use some Ecoline liquid watercolour and drop some colours on top. And I'm just letting that spread out into the wet paint on the background. I'm going to use a few different colours. I have to say I thought I'd gone a bit far with them because they kind of all run in together, not necessarily in the best way, but when I come back and decorate it towards the end of the video, I actually end up being really happy with it. And it was just a lovely chance to sit and play. I'm tilting the card slightly to encourage those colours to run. But what I should have thought about really was the types of colours that they would create when they mixed together, which kind of ended up being a little bit muddy, but I actually still really liked the vibrant splashes of the green, red and blue, which still in the end shone through on top of the yellow. And not content, I decided to add some more. This isn't the fault of the liquid watercolours at all. They're brilliant to work with, but I just didn't think through my colour choices. For this tag, I went for a much safer choice and picked 2 different colours of blue watercolour. I think during this decorating session I ended up using nearly all of my supplies in one way or another, and it took me ages to tidy everything up, but I still think it was really worth it and so much fun. For this tag I've used a light pink paint and then I'm dropping a darker pinky purple colour on top. For this glassine bag, I'd also added some gesso on top because the paper can be quite slippery and it's difficult to add things on top, but the primer enables the paint to stick really nicely to it. So I've added lots of paint to the top and I'm just gently tapping that envelope on a paper towel and encouraging the paint to run right down to the bottom. And this is something that I often do on journal pages too. This can be pretty messy to do, but I think gives a really fun and easy effect. I'm also then using a darker blue watercolour paint to add some splashes on top. For this craft envelope, I'm adding some brown watercolour paint to give a lovely vintagey kind of feel background. Now that all of the paint is dry, I'm going to start adding lots of decorations on top of these tags and pockets. So for this first one, I found these lovely, they're quite thick raised stickers, and I'm just looking for anything with colours on it that's going to match into those backgrounds that I've used. And for me, this is one of the most fun parts once you've added the backgrounds and you can just start playing around with your different supplies and seeing what you like the look of. For this tag with the blue background, I'm going to use a Stadler pigment liner to draw out a moon. And I'll be then using some jelly roll pens to add the colour. Because I thought those blues kind of represented the evening sky, and I thought it'd be really nice to just finish that off with a moon and some stars. To finish off the tag, I'm going to use some stickers from the Tim Holtz Ideology collection. And I really like these because they have lots of little typed quotes on both a white and black background. And they're a great way for just adding a quick sentiment, again on top of tags, pockets or your journal pages. For this vintagey looking tag, I'm going to use some pressed flowers. I've got these tiny little rosebuds and I thought that would look really beautiful on top. So I'm going to glue that down and then use a strip of washi tape on the bottom to make sure that it stays nice and secure. I really hope this video is inspiring you to have a good rootle through your stash and to spend some time getting creative and having fun. If you do create any tags or pockets on Instagram, I would absolutely love you to tag me in on the photos so that I can see your creations and share them. For this tag, again, I'm using some transfer stickers. So I'm looking for different designs that I think would tie in really nicely, and I'm going to transfer them on top of that watercolour paint. Again, I love this effect because you can still see all of the background and the paint that you've added, but you've got those lovely subtle decorations on top. For this pink and purpley tag, again, I'm going to stick with some transfer stickers, and I absolutely love the background on that tag. The colours mix together so beautifully. So I'm pleased I'm not going to be properly covering any of that up, just adding some extra decoration on top. For my slightly disastrous tag, I thought I would roll with the muddy colours that I'd managed to produce, but that I'd tie in with the reds and greens, yellows and browns, which definitely makes me think of autumn. So I thought that adding an autumn leaf on the top would actually tie it all in nicely together. And I'm also going to use, again, some of the Tim Holtz stickers. And I actually ended up being really pleased with how this tag ended up looking in the end. To finish off that tag, I'm going to use my black pen to draw a border around the quote stickers to help them stand out against the background. Well, that is the end of the stamp and pocket decorating extravaganza. I really hope you've enjoyed watching all of this and that you found it relaxing and it's encouraged you to get a bit creative and take some time out for yourself. So I thought I would finish off by just quickly sharing each of the tags as a quick recap. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, it would be great if you'd leave it with a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, of course, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. If you've got any questions or comments, then please do leave them down below. I also want to take this chance to say a huge thank you to everybody who's already joined me over on Patreon. I can't quite believe it already, so it's just a huge thank you. It means the world to me to have you over there and for me to be growing a lovely little journaling and creative community there. So thank you ever so much for watching. Please do remember that if you create any tags or pockets, I would absolutely love you to share them with me over on Instagram. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to speaking with you really soon in the next one.